What's going on, y'all? Harry from Harry the Horse Barbecue here, and in this one, I am not horsing around with these homemade pickles. I'm gonna show y'all how I grew my own cucumbers from seed, and then we'll harvest some massive cucumbers and turn them into quick pickles in 2 different ways. Looking to make some pickles entirely from scratch? Well, the horse has got your back. Let's get it.
Harry the Horse Barbecue.
Pickles are a staple on any barbecue tray in any barbecue joint simply because the acidic, sour, sweet nature of pickles helps cut through all the richness and fattiness of all the different meats on a barbecue tray. And I think the consensus on making homemade pickles is almost split 50-50. Now, I'm not entirely sure about this, but some joints are making their own pickles from scratch, other joints are just buying them and bringing them in. No matter how you slice it, a pickle on a platter is oh so delicious, and I'm here to tell y'all how I make my pickle recipe, and we're gonna do it completely from scratch. So in order to make these pickles, we gotta go shopping for some seeds. Let's go. Those are cucumber seeds. The strain of cucumber seeds we decided to grow this year are literally called homemade pickles. This variety is sold by Botanical Interest, which is a seed company owned by Epic Gardening. If you haven't checked out Epic Gardening's website and YouTube channel, I highly recommend doing so. But these cucumbers are arguably the best available for pickles. They're solid, they're crisp, and the interior is perfect for 1.5 inch to 6 inch pickles. And Perry and I use them in salads all the time. Now there are 2 major ways to make pickles. There is the quick pickle, which is what we're doing today with vinegar, some spices, and some herbs. And there's also the lacto-fermented pickling. I haven't done a ton of research involving lacto-fermentation, but it involves some water, some salt, your favorite vegetable, and a lot of time. Most barbecue joints don't have a lot of time. I for sure don't have a lot of time. So lacto-fermented pickles will definitely be on the to-do list later on in this channel's history. Now, before we go and harvest some cucumbers, I will say we got a little overzealous, and the cucumbers grew to be a little bit more than average size, if you know what I'm saying. So let's head outside to the garden and harvest some cucumbers. All right, y'all, we're out here at the garden, which I like to call the horse stables, and we're gonna get ready to pick some cucumbers. I think I've got about 3 on the vine that are gonna make some amazing homemade pickles. But let me show you the setup of how I grew these cucumbers in case y'all are wanting to grow some at home. So these cucumber plants are about 3 to 4 months old. We started them in seed starting trays back in May. It's now currently August. And we transplanted these cucumber seedlings into a 25-gallon grow bag from Epic Gardening. Y'all can see, oh, there's a baby cucumber in there. We filled this grow bag with about 4 or 5 cubic feet of soil. There's a few different soil varieties that I like. If y'all are interested, I'm a really big fan of the organic Coast of Maine soils and composts. But I believe in this cucumber grow bag, we filled it with Pro Mix, which is another great brand. But as you can see, these are some hefty looking cucumbers, and that is crazy. That is bigger than my hand. So some of these are ready to come out. Let's do some harvesting here in August. Just gonna take my pruners, snip her off, and that is just insane. This should definitely make some massive pickle chips or some really awesome pickle spears. Let's grab 2 more. We got a couple more big ones down here. We're gonna give this one a little bit of a snip. Done deal. Another massive one. And excuse me, sir, what in the dude, are you kidding me? Is this even a cucumber? Like, what is this? For scale, these are my pruners, and that's the size of this cucumber. This cucumber's literally not horsing around. Holy cow. I think that's all we have to harvest today. So it's been a couple days, and we've got a bunch of cucumbers, and I think there's actually 1 more on the way. We got some hefty boys and a couple of smaller ones. So we'll divide these up into 2 styles of pickles. But before I even handle these pickles, we want to prep these jars so that way when our brine is hot and ready to be poured over the pickles, the jars are all ready to go. So I've got 2 pretty large mason jars here, and there's no specific measurements. There's only specific ingredients. You can go in with as much or as little as you like of each ingredient. I just tend to eyeball it. So I'm going in with some black peppercorns, some red chili flakes. The more chili flakes, the spicier these will be. Some dried onion flakes, because I think it adds a nice little onioniness. It definitely adds a little bit more of a depth of flavor. Super classic are mustard seeds, gotta have them in there. Add some tanginess. Next in with some garlic, about 3 to 4 cloves per jar. And lastly, some dill. So even though I'm going for sort of a bread and butter pickle style, which has more of a sweetness to it, I think the dill is gonna add that herbiness and that classic dill pickle flavor that most people are after when they wanna make homemade pickles. So this recipe is essentially combining the classic elements of a dill pickle, the sweetness of a bread and butter pickle, and you also have that garlic in here and the vinegar that's gonna add that sour garlic tanginess. It's like the ultimate version of pickles. Now that we've established our flavor components, let's prep those cucumbers. And here's our selection of cucumbers. We have a massive one that we found by surprise, a pretty good sized one, and 3 on the smaller side. Now since I've got 2 massive ones, I'm gonna turn these into pickle spears, and the remaining 3 shorties I'm gonna turn into pickle chips. Let's start the spears first. Check out that discrepancy. If I turn this whole thing into spears, we're not gonna fit. So I'm gonna have to lob off the ends a little bit so we can make spears that'll fit into our mason jar. Look how beautiful that interior is. I'm gonna have this as a snack. Now I'm gonna do my best to turn these into spears. So going down the middle again. And I think we'll go down the middle one more time. And this is pretty much what we got. Not the classic dill pickle spear. That's the bummer with pickle spears. You can't fit a ton in a jar. To finish out our spears, I'm gonna also lob an end of this one off, another snack, and I'm gonna leave the end of this one on to get that classic spear-like shape. This is more like what these cucumbers should be looking like. That other one just caught me by surprise. It was massive and super waterlogged. This one's looking nice. Cut them down one more time. This super sharp Dalstrong chef's knife really comes in handy for that. So our next jar has the same exact flavor components, but I'm out of dill. So our chips and these additional spears are gonna be the exact same flavor profile, minus the dill and the addition of some turmeric. Having dill is great, I love that flavor profile, but I often make pickles without it. And a lot of times I'm throwing a little dash of turmeric in here just to add that little neon green color. And our pickle spears are going right on in. Sticking out the top a wee bit, but we'll press that down with the lid. But you can see plenty of juicy, massive pickle spears to go around. With the spears done, let's prep the chips. So now you could use a mandolin or whatever you want to get the most even slices here. But my mandolin has like one setting on it and it often just creates pickle slices that are too thin. So I'm actually gonna cut these by hand. But obviously you could do whatever you want. I'm going for about a 1/4 inch thick on the pickle slice, and having a super sharp Dalstrong knife definitely helps the process. And if you're like, oh, Mr. Horse, those pickles are too big, too small, too this, too that. That's the beauty of growing these things at home. There's so much variety in the growth, and it's not gonna be the most picture perfect pickle chip every single time. Now we go down with all of our pickle chips. Some of these are massive, but that's the fun of pickles. Some are big, some are small, some are fat, some are tall. That's about as many as I can fit here. Let's do one more jar. And that's pretty much it for setting up our pickles. Now all we have to do is make the brine, which is gonna make these quick pickle from the heat, the vinegar, the water, the salt, and the sugar. Let's put them together. So I doubled up my normal brine recipe, but I know I'm gonna need to still make more. But I'm going in with 3 cups of water and 3 cups of distilled white vinegar. To this, we're going in with 4 tablespoons kosher salt. And I'm gonna double that in the amount of sugar, which means 8 tablespoons of sugar. That may seem like a lot of sugar, but I think it really works well with this recipe. But onto the heat till we have a boiling brine. And now comes the most difficult part, which is pouring hot brine over these cucumbers. And just go slow so we don't spill it everywhere. Oh goodness, that's hot. We're just gonna go down the line until we're done. Don't throw these into the fridge immediately. Let them cool down at room temp. Then once they're there, you can throw them in the refrigerator and they'll last you definitely a few weeks, if not a few months. But once these cool down, we can taste them. Well, y'all, it's been a few days and these pickles went like hotcakes. Did a little burger experiment with some family, cooked up an amazing Labor Day feast for some family, which you'll see in a future video, and we paired these pickles perfectly with all of those meals. So I've got slim pickings left to show y'all. But let's give these a quick taste test to see how they came out. Ooh, that smells good. Now that is just a classic looking OG pickle chip. Pretty thick, you've got that neon green sort of color from that turmeric. You know that these are organic, homegrown, and they're just gonna be crispy, sour, sweet, delicious. Let's see. You hear that crunch? Gotta love a crispy pickle. Sour and salty right up front, but then it comes in with a little bit of sweetness on the end. Plenty of garlic coming through once this has sat for a little bit. And you know they're good when you can just eat them on their own. Put that on whatever you want. Chicken sandwich, burgers, a nice barbecue tray. This recipe is seriously not horsing around. And lastly, let's check out one of these pickle spears. It's got that Vlasic pickle kind of color, that neon green, gotta love that. They're still feeling firm, so you know they're gonna be crisp. Give it a shot. These are great. My only note with the pickle spears, you get a little bit more texture, a little bit more toothsomeness because it's a thicker pickle. But my only issue with the homemade pickle strain that we grew is that the skin is a bit tough, but the rest of the pickle is just delicious. Super tender, still bite through, nice and crispy. And I'll tell you that my family did not hold their horses when going after these pickles. These are packed with flavor. And I don't know what else to say to y'all except for stop horsing around and make these already. Thank y'all for tuning into Harry the Horse Barbecue. I really appreciate you checking out this video. Make sure you subscribe for the vibes, hit a like for these pickles, and comment down below if you're gonna grow your own cucumbers. They're pretty sweet. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I'm posting new content, and you can follow me on Instagram at Harry the Horse Barbecue. Tag me so I can see what y'all are cooking because y'all inspire these cooks. And with that being said, there's only one more thing, y'all. This one is going straight to the horse's mouth. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. Start a garden and grow something. Just kidding.